There it is.
What's going on, everybody? We're here today. Last play breakdown. There's been some crazy news. There hasn't really been too many transfers as of late. Surprisingly, with the deadline fast approaching, I think it's February 1st at 10 p.m. If I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
is the last opportunity any team has to finalize any deals or signings. And yeah, that's only 2 days away. So let's see if there's any crazy moves. But as of now, I think this Timo Werner one is probably got people talking the most. Have you had a chance, Jay, to see anything in regards to that yet?
Yeah, so Timo Werner is expected to they said that he's expected to um replace Son while he's at the Asian Cup. So then if he replaces, but the thing is, the only doubt that we have here is that when he was playing for Chelsea, there wasn't much that he did over there, right? He did help them win the Champions League. However, that was one game where he, was a star. I mean, he was on and off, mostly off, but he didn't complete what he was expected at the English Premier League. So I don't know how that's gonna come up, when it comes to playing for Tottenham, right? And
I feel like Tottenham and Chelsea are probably a little bit different when it comes to like their terms of style of play. You know what I mean? So maybe going to a team like Tottenham with that fast-paced, aggressive, push forward mentality, especially coming from the Bundesliga, which is very similar to how Tottenham plays. Maybe it'll be a good suit for him, and Tottenham will end up signing him and taking him for a couple of years in the future. You know?
yeah, because like if you look at the way he played in Germany, he the first season that he played before he went to Chelsea, he scored a lot of goals, and then second season after Chelsea, sold him over back to Germany, we see that he actually did really well. I mean, really good, and he's a player with a lot of pace. So if he goes to Tottenham, Tottenham's very direct. So then hopefully, when he's there, he can you know basically come back and show that he proved himself, right? He has a point to prove. So maybe hopefully he does it at Tottenham.
100%. 100%. Well, I mean, time will tell. Like with speaking of Tottenham, like they're in the EPL, which is in my opinion probably one of the top tier leagues, if not the top tier league when
Yeah,
it comes
definitely the
to
best.
football. So there's a lot of things expected to happen. Like I know Osimhen has full intention of leaving Napoli. Um, he doesn't want to stay there. And it'll be interesting to see if he pops over to one of these Premier League teams as well. I've heard speculation it could be Chelsea. It could also be Arsenal, but I heard he kind of pushed Arsenal to the side and said he doesn't really want anything to do with them. But I've also heard now that Juventus is looking to perhaps attain him in the offseason. And by doing that, they'd have to make some crazy moves in terms of like Vlahovic and Sule. And so, if these two players were to kind of get shifted out, would they end up in the EPL and maybe Osimhen goes to Juve, or does Juve just kind of forget about Osimhen and he ends up
Yeah,
on the EP? You know?
usually when we see like Italian players, it's not very often that they go to the Premier League. Usually, what the players like that, they'd go into the Spanish league or something like that. I don't know if it's because of the language similarities in languages, or maybe it's because the Spanish league is more. I don't know if they get paid more. I don't know what the reason is, but yeah. So Ben, basically, I don't know if you heard of it. Like Osimhen has been trying to leave Napoli since last season
Mm-hmm.
because of a TikTok video. I don't know. Have you heard of that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
One TikTok video. I don't know what they. I forgot what they did. Do you remember it? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he missed a goal or he missed a penalty or something like that.
Yeah,
And I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was a dance. They did a dance or something like that, and it was directed to make fun at him, basically. And he
yeah,
took it very personal and internalized it. And there was a point in time there where he would come out onto the field, and it was like, is he even gonna really play to his full potential right now? But he moved past that. Like he
I
made up
don't think he has because he's dying to leave. Right, he's just finding excuses to get out of there.
very true.
Even though he's continuing his strength. With this season with Napoli. It's kind of funny that he's still internalized like TikTok video. You know,
Hmm.
maybe he should be pissed off at the people in the marketing department or something. Not, what does the manager or his teammates have to do with that? It's
Exactly. But I think with him, it was the fans. You know what I mean? I think he was just so upset because he felt like he had done so much for Napoli. Like he brought them the league title last year. You know what I mean? He did a lot for the club. So, and it was a long time since Napoli had won the title, if I'm not mistaken, prior to him
yeah,
helping them. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
I guess he just expected them to be there for him a little bit more. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? As opposed to like hopping on the bandwagon and going against them. And
yeah,
and that's the thing. Like if you're really a huge fan of soccer, even though you're getting paid all this money to play, at the end of the day, there's probably no better feeling than hearing a full stadium of tens of thousands of people screaming your name and supporting you. And you know what I mean? You want to
yeah,
go in there like, not to veer too far off topic here, but like the David Beckham documentary came out a few months back,
yeah,
and I watched that back like in his time. I wasn't privy to really know much about it, but watching that, there was a point in time there where every time he would touch the ball, even in his home field, he got booed. You know what I mean?
hmm,
And that's probably a terrible feeling as a player, right? And
yeah,
and with that being said, he's like, well, if I take my talents elsewhere, maybe I'll actually be appreciated.
yeah,
So you might be right. Maybe he just kind of tried to make amends on social media and whatever. But really deep down, he wants out. You know.
yeah, yeah. And then, like I said, if he might stay in, you never know. Maybe there's a Spanish team that might want to pick him up because he's a pretty strong player, right?
Hmm.
And I know that, for example, Real Madrid, they're looking for someone to replace some, big players there too. Like they're looking for. I heard last they were trying to find Mbappe. They're trying to see, and if
Hmm.
he could move to Real Madrid, Mbappe, right? So maybe they could be looking for someone with pace because they want to get. I think they want to replace oh my God, Vinicius, right?
Okay.
So they want to replace Vinicius Junior, and Junior is planning on ending his contract very soon. He may not re-sign again. It all depends. Or sorry, Mbappe might not re-sign again. So maybe they're looking to replace Vinicius. I know that they're looking also for Benzema, Real
Hmm.
Madrid. So they're looking for a lot of big moves. So who knows? Maybe Osimhen might be a player they could put up there. They might need someone strong to fight for crosses and whatnot. And Osimhen is a pretty quick player too, right? Being a tall, strong player. But what do you think about the Mbappe move to Real Madrid?
Yeah. Just before I move on to Mbappe, like I don't know if you've had the chance to see it yet, but there was one Osimhen assist this year, where he fought through like two or three different players and made like a sliding pass through the box, and his teammates scored the goal. It was unreal. If you haven't had a
Yeah,
chance to check that out, definitely look at that. I think he's just trying to put as much value on his transfer name as he can before the season ends. With
yeah.
Mbappe, I kind of feel like it's a long time coming. I've heard this quite a few times in the past where Real Madrid's been trying to attain him, and it just
From
kind of
last
hasn't
season,
worked
right?
out. Hmm. So I mean, now with things kind of being a little more set in stone, um, hopefully they can finally get Mbappe, and I think that would probably be their first choice. But could you really go wrong with getting Benzema right now on loan for the next 5 months or whatever until the season's over? In the meantime, sounds like a pretty smart move to me, and
Yeah.
that's what I've been hearing. You know what I mean? Is that they are indeed trying to acquire Benzema. But what do you think about Benzema maybe ending up in the EPL, if he were to come over on a loan for the remainder of the season?
To be honest, I don't know. I would honestly think he would fit better in a team that needs a big man at the front, like uh maybe United,
Hmm.
or maybe um who else needs usually uses big man, like when they replaced Chelsea, when they replaced Lukaku. Lukaku went
Okay.
off. He was a big body. So like these are players that they use a lot of that. That's why someone like Warner, who we spoke about earlier, uh, wasn't a good fit because he's a wasn't a strong player, but he was a very fast player. Usually, fast players don't have a lot of strength.
Hmm.
So maybe Osimhen or Benzema might be able to replace someone at Chelsea, or I know that Tottenham's trying to make big moves, right? So
Well,
who
I've also heard that Tottenham might even be looking to acquire Gallagher, from Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken. So that's again, it might shake things up a little bit, and maybe Chelsea's willing to do that to make some room in their budget to acquire some big names. But time will tell, and we kind of said Man U there, like how you think Benzema might have been a good fit on Man U. Um, Funny enough, I don't remember who it was, but somebody was basically telling Marcus Rashford that he needs to leave Man United because his talent is just being wasted there.
Yeah,
Um, and I wonder if that's it. Maybe they just need to shake things up a little bit too, and a move like that could really do it. You know?
and he had a
So
lot of Rashford had a lot of what do you call? Rashford had a lot of transfer rumors. He was supposed to be going down. You know, I heard he was supposed to go to Everton, and then he went to. He was supposed to go to like West Ham or Aston Villa. I forgot which one it was.
mhm.
Those two teams always mix me up because of the colors, but
Yeah,
yeah. So then one of them, and then yeah, who knows?
yeah.
For when it
Well,
comes to a player like him, you know. But as long as yeah, but those are that's kind of like some of the major moves. Maybe we can go into detail some other time. uh for example, the team of Warner, that's the only confirmed transfer right now. Everything is a rumor, and
mhm.
usually rumors, the players will end wait to, like, especially big star players, they would wait till the end of the season before they make a final decision because it's a big move, right?
Yeah,
So
and you want to see all the options. Like it depends. Some players want to play in a specific place. Other players are just trying to get as much money as they can because they know they're valued and they're important. You know,
yeah.
so I mean, yeah, no, it'll be interesting, man. But 2 days, a lot can happen in the next 2 days, and you never really know. Time will tell. You know,
Yeah.
so
And actually, speaking about big money, I don't know if you heard this, but Roma's manager, Roma fired Jose Mourinho,
hmm
and I don't know why, but it could have been because he was caught speaking to one of the Saudi clubs,
mm,
so it could be that, because usually players, managers, whoever, when they start speaking to the Saudi clubs, there's big money involved, right?
well, and I think that's the thing. Like if Marino were to end up going to a Saudi club, um, I think it would make for some very, very, very interesting signings on whichever club he ended up on, and it would
They'll open their
definitely
pocketbooks to him. Like, he's one of the
exactly.
greatest managers in history, right?
And you put a Savage, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to discredit the Saudi league, but I can't compare a league like that to a league like the EPL per se, or
Yeah.
even La Liga per se. They're coming, you know what I mean? They're getting there. They're definitely making the world know that they're, you know what I mean? They're willing to spend a pretty dollar to get some serious talent, and they're waking everybody up now. But I feel like, yeah, if you were to get someone like Marino over there, you'd have some crazy talent, and any
Hmm.
competitions that they were able to get in where they'd have their chance to display um, their talent against an EPL club or whatever, even if it's a friendly. Um,
Yeah.
I think the changes would be astronomical. So that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, like they'll definitely open up their pocketbooks when it comes uh to a manager like Mourinho. But the thing is, it's still up in the air, right? We
Well,
don't know who it might be going to next.
yeah,
Wherever he might want to get a new, get a new experience in a new league,
mhm,
and get something brand new, maybe break records over there.
exactly,
So
exactly. Well, funny enough, I think Arteta is planning on leaving Arsenal at the end of the season as well. Now I've heard that he's likely going to end up on Barcelona. Um, that's most likely the move. And but let's say he didn't. Let's say Arteta ended up over in Saudi as well. You know what I mean? And then you'd have two pretty high name coaches over there that would definitely make a big push and a big change for those leagues. So it'll be interesting. But what do you think about that? You think if Arteta goes back to Barcelona, he's just going to carry the curse over to there?
yeah, that's the thing, right? They usually he's supposed to be. They were expecting trophies with him,
hmm
but he's looking like he could be, the next Pochettino. Was with Tottenham for so long, never really got to where they wanted to be. But you never know though, because where he was with that Arsenal team to where it is now, it's night and day almost, right? However, with that being said, there is the opening that's coming up with Jurgen Klopp deciding to let down. to actually step aside and let a new manager take over Liverpool. So if Arteta doesn't end up in the Saudi league, maybe that might be an opening. But I think it's the Leverkusen manager. I just forgot his name. I think he might take over because he's been winning so many games, and I think he was an ex-Liverpool player too.
Hmm.
So he proved himself over in Germany. Maybe being having that German touch and whatnot, and playing in the experience just like Jurgen Klopp did. Maybe
Hmm.
he might take over and continue, this whole thing that Jurgen has built up over there in Liverpool, right?
For
That
sure.
might be
For
the
sure.
next. So it could be either or. But if Arteta proved himself over at Arsenal, brought a team from dark to the light. So maybe you might see him take over the reign there in Liverpool.
So, do we have any understanding as to why Jurgen's planning on potentially stepping down after 10 years? Is it just like, does he have intentions of maybe going elsewhere, or does he just not want to manage anymore?
To be honest, I don't really know. I didn't really look into it, but I just do know that that's the plan in terms of moving. Don't know.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think it could be? Because after almost 10 years, actually, he was in the league for almost 10 years with Liverpool. What do you?
Well, I just find it very interesting because of how well they're doing this season. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like this is probably one of the best years that they've had in the past few. And I mean they have a chance to win the league this year. Not saying they're going to do it, but they definitely have a chance. Um and they're a strong team, man, with a really really strong foundation. So just to see him all of a sudden want to pack up, it kind of just piqued my interest. Like is there another club maybe he wants to go to, or is there a club that's like demanding him come there to the point where he's like, all right, let me just give it a shot. I'm like, I don't know. Or maybe he's just so confident he's gonna win a title with Liverpool this year that he's like, all right, at the end of the season, I'm gone.
Could
That's
be.
it.
Oh,
You
and
know?
actually, sorry, I had to look up the player's name too. His name is actually Xabi Alonso. I think he was a Barcelona player. Xabi
Okay.
Alonso.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he's doing amazing over there. And then yeah, they're looking to maybe transfer him over. Oh, sorry, he's looking to maybe transfer himself over to Liverpool. He's actually the favorite now, but knowing now that Arteta is in the air, and so maybe Jose Mourinho won't go back because he didn't do very good.
Hmm.
He did amazing with Chelsea, did amazing with United, didn't go too well afterwards, right? But
Yeah.
I think he was with Tottenham. So yeah, definitely
I like
not.
that.
Definitely, yeah. We'll see who's gonna take over there at Liverpool.
Well, and,
But
and
they
and
have
that's the thing. It's going to be a very interesting 2 days before this deadline to see any interim deals that may come forward and whatnot. But I think the off season is when we're really going to see things change drastically when it comes to coaches, players, everything. Um, it's and like we can already say firsthand. Look at MLS. You know what I mean? And some of the signings that were made this season and last season. Well, sorry, not this season because it hasn't officially started yet. I believe when does it start? Early February, mid February?
yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be starting the 21st.
Okay.
I think it's the 21st. There's going to be a lot of games.
Hmm.
Uh, our home team is going to be playing too against Cincinnati, so that's going to be fun.
Hmm. Hmm.
So but there are expected games. There's are expected friendly games though, with Messi over there at Miami. Messi's
Ah,
gonna play. It's supposed to be they're supposed to face uh, Neymar Al Hilal. They're supposed to be playing together on the 29th. Well, today actually, but we'll see what happens, right? Neymar's not going to be playing. He's got that injury. Maybe it's not going to be so exciting. I guess people who paid for those tickets, they're kind of bummed out now that Neymar's injured.
yeah.
Um,
Neymar versus
However,
Messi.
yeah, Neymar and Messi, but I think the big game is going to be Al Nazir versus Miami, which is going to be on the 1st of February. And that's going to be Ronaldo and Messi, the big rival. I think
Ah,
that's definitely going to sell. I don't even know what the tickets are priced at,
yeah.
but
No, that's gonna be a clash for sure.
yeah,
For
Messi and
sure.
Ronaldo, the two goats of
I
modern day
expect a lot of
soccer.
goals in that game.
Oh, most definitely.
I mean, it could be the opposite. You know, maybe it's just a stalemate, ends 0-0 or 1-0 or 1-1 or something. But I expect a lot of goals, a lot of goals. If I'm locking in picks that day, I'm taking over 3.5 goals for sure.
Over 3.5
Over 3.5.
with
Easy. That's at least 2 goals aside. That's easy. I could probably even go over 4.5.
yeah, because I think the offense is going to be strong on the Miami side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but the thing is, I think Al Nazir probably has a lot deeper and more experienced players, maybe better players than Miami overall. Because MLS, there it's a good competition, but I think maybe the Saudi league is, you know, steps ahead of them. So they definitely have a lot better players. Like team like Al Nazir is facing all of the Asian teams over there. You know, you got
Yep.
Australia, you got Japan, Korea, and all those teams. That they have really strong teams overseas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I could see Al Nazir beating them, especially Ronaldo's shots. If they give Ronaldo some opportunities, he's still golden, man. He still takes that team and gets them far. He's almost a one man show, you know. Unlike Messi, he's a very good player, very strong player. He can do things by himself too, but he has a backing. He's got a lot of players to help him accomplish that, you know.
Exactly. Well, and that's it. Like now he just brought over he just brought somebody else over too.
Suarez,
Suarez, yes, exactly. Now Suarez. So now it's him, Busquets, Suarez. Um, there's another person that he
Alonso,
brought, Alonso. Like they have a team this year, man. Um, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see how they do.
yeah.
It will be for sure. I still personally think future. You got to take a future on Miami to win MLS this year, 100%. Like I
Oh, I
don't.
think they'll win everything.
Yeah, it's. I
They'll
don't
win
think
the
it'll be.
CONCACAF. They'll win the rest.
That's it. The
They'll
only
win
way
everything.
that doesn't happen is if somehow there's some serious injuries or something along those lines. But other than that, I think they're gonna go very, very far in their respective league. But I mean, you made a good point there with Saudi. And like they definitely are a very strong and thorough league now, and they are growing heavily. Like once upon a time, you know, I didn't even really know, much about them or any players that were over there. So you can see, and now with speculation of coaches perhaps going over there, and it's going to be wild. It's going to be
Yeah.
wild. So, and when was that matchup? I know you said there's one today, but Al Nazir
February
and Inter Miami.
1st. February 1st. I think that's gonna be on when is that actually? Oh, it's gonna be on a Thursday, which is not too bad, you know. Maybe
Okay,
we can do a watch along. Depends. I don't know. Depends on what
perhaps.
time the game is. It's 1 p.m. I don't think we'll
Yeah.
be. I don't think
No,
we can
maybe
get
not
anything done. But yeah, no, it's very like when's our next watch along? Do you know?
today. We're gonna do one today. Let's do it. You said it's gonna be Inter Miami and
Yeah,
Al Nasir.
Al
So,
Nazir.
no,
Yeah,
sorry, Al
yeah.
Hilal.
Al Hilal. Al
Al
Hilal.
Hilal, yes. So I don't know if you want, let's do one today. It'll be interesting to see Inter Miami in their full form and like although Neymar isn't gonna be in the picture, um, I definitely still think it'll be a pretty competitive matchup.
Do you think Messi will play?
I
It's
think
a
Messi plays
friendly. Think he's gonna warm up,
for sure. I
score a
think they're
couple
gonna have
goals
everyone
on
out
the.
there. I think
You think
Suarez is
so?
gonna be out there. I think Messi, Busquets. I think they're gonna have the whole team because I mean they start in what 3 weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
So you might as well get out there and test your. He might not play the full game. You know what I mean? They might not really care like if it ends a draw or whatever, but I think there's still a level of pride when you go into a pitch. You know what I mean? You want to win the game regardless. So um,
yeah.
yeah,
All right. Well, no, that was a good conversation. You know, now you let me know, man. We got the plans for today. Watch along. Games at 1 p.m. What do you have in mind for closing thoughts here?
honestly, I'm really excited to see what happens over the next couple of days with the trade deadline, or sorry, the transfer window coming to a close. Obviously, until the summer after that. So yeah, and you never know. Like a lot of big name players and a lot of big clubs won't necessarily come out and announce what they're working on or what they're close to finalizing, or they may allude to it being a lot less attainable than it really is. You know what I mean? Until it's really time to strike because
Yeah,
you never know. Like another club might come in and just offer a little bit more and try and swoop that player away. So I think there's a lot of strategy involved when it comes to these things, and I think that'll be on full display the next couple of days. I'm interested to see if there's any moves.
Yeah, no, 100% sure. So the 31st is gonna be on a Wednesday. That's when I think they close at midnight. I don't know what time they close it. The transfer window. So maybe we can do some sort of live reaction to that. Maybe
100%.
we can do some live reactions because there's gonna be a lot of closings. We'll do something
And
in
it,
the morning. We could do something in the morning. There's definitely gonna be a lot of transfers last minute, especially for the
I think so.
EPL. So
Mhm. And maybe even loan deals. Like we gotta look out for that Benzema. I know there was a couple teams that were hunting
yeah,
to get a Benzema on loan for the next 5 months. So
yeah.
let's
All right.
see.
Well,
See what
well,
happens.
well. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and you guys have yourself a great night.
Thanks, guys. Till next time.